I'm Bill McGloin, Practice Leader for Storage and Data Optimization here at Computacenter. I'm joined today by Matt Watts, who's Director for EMEA for Technology and Strategy at our major partner NetApp. Matt, welcome to Computacenter.
It's great to be here, Bill. Thanks for inviting me.
One of the things that we see in the marketplace just now is it's a very interesting and rapidly changing environments that we're working in now. One of the things we talk about at Computacenter is really there's a lot of disruption going on in the marketplace today with vendors such as NetApp bringing new and emerging and exciting technologies to the marketplace. How do you see the world changing in the data world just now?
So I've thought a lot about this, and I've been looking at kind of IT in my personal life, because I think what we do in our personal lives now has quite a bearing on what we end up doing in our business lives. And most recently, I moved to Flash. I've bought a MacBook Pro, I've got my iPad and my iPhone, which are all Flash-powered devices. But in order to do that, I had to make two other decisions. One was that I needed more of a kind of a bulk storage repository, somewhere where I could put the family photographs, some of those things that are important for me to keep that wouldn't fit on the Flash devices that I decided to buy. And the third thing I did was I went to the cloud. I don't own any CDs, I don't own any DVDs. I don't have kind of an email setup. I stream all of that stuff in. If I want to listen to music, I stream it. If I want to watch a film, I stream it. I get my email delivered to me. So I think that kind of Flash, bulk data, and hybrid cloud, the way I consume it in my personal life, is a very interesting way of seeing how I think IT is evolving inside organizations we're talking to right now.
It's an interesting observation. I guess really we're both consumers of data now, more than we ever were before. I think one of the trends that we've seen in the business world really is that companies have moved almost wholesale to a public cloud, or tried then private cloud models and not really been satisfied by either. And we are seeing the rise of the hybrid cloud model now really quite rapidly within our customer base. The interesting thing for me though is that we see companies now almost being happy to consume applications from the cloud, being happy to consume compute resources from the cloud, but actually being quite selective about what data they put out into the cloud, and actually then keeping a lot of their core and most important data quite close to home. So the rise almost of the data-only data center.
Yeah, and I think that's where my story doesn't work in terms of companies and businesses, because I'm not bound by legislation and regulation, and I don't worry too much about where my data goes, per se. So effectively, that's why we've been building NetApp private storage for Amazon, Azure, and IBM SoftLayer, was to say to people, actually, you can have your own storage in a secure facility, but you can start to tap into the resources of these big hyperscale service providers. We've been looking at things, Cloud on Tap, which we recently released, which is an option where people can install our software into an Amazon Web Services instance. And of course, we've been helping companies, helping Computacenter specifically to build an infrastructure, your cloud infrastructure, on our hardware as well. And what that means is it gives people a common data fabric, because data's hard to move, and it gives them choice as to exactly what are they able to and what are they prepared to be able to do in terms of a hybrid cloud adoption.
Yeah, I think we've seen the evolution of clustered ONTAP really across the last few months. And actually, when it starts to play well with NetApp private storage, I think it represents a compelling solution for customers, and actually something that we can actively take to market and address a lot of our customer challenges. One of the other things you referenced there, which is quite interesting for me, is Flash. Your use of Flash personally. The Flash market for me is quite interesting just now. We've seen a lot of people adopt Flash technology, and maybe not getting the maximum benefit of it, or the benefit they expect from it. I think one of the strengths of the NetApp portfolio is that you're able to position Flash correctly within the application stack, and actually start to see customers now get maximum benefit and actually drive the real value of Flash technology. What's your experience of the Flash market from NetApp point of view?
So I don't think one size doesn't fit all. I think that's what we're starting to see. And what we're finding is, and certainly companies that I talk to, frequently there's an individual application, a database, or something, something significant that they want to really accelerate. And well, Flash is the ideal way to do that. And for that, we have our EF550. So we're talking about a device that has, many hundreds of thousands of IOPS and sub-millisecond latencies with a very compelling price point. So that's really good to underpin a specific application and give that the shot in the arm that it wants. But what we've also been working on is how do we take our clustered data on tap, which powers our FAS devices, and increasingly give people the ability to augment the disk that they've been buying with more and more and more flash. And most recently, we've announced all flash FAS, which means people can now buy all flash configurations of those devices as well. And that gives them an ability to be on a journey. You know, they have hundreds of applications, and this means they can start to move those applications towards flash at the kind of speed that's right for them without compromising on the data management, the data protection, the replication capabilities they've come to expect.
I think the flash world for us is very interesting just now. I think we're, and actually the industry, as I say, is kind of interesting times just now. We're almost approaching that Hunger Games moment where we're starting to see a lot of companies split in two to focus on specific markets. We're starting to see a lot of mergers or proposed mergers. We're starting to see a lot of acquisitions. And actually recently NetApp themselves made a very interesting acquisition, some Riverbed technology. Do you want to talk us through how you see NetApp's use of that technology and how you see your marketplace evolving because of that?
So we've already kind of responded to this, and as an organization, we now have two divisions inside NetApp. There's the division which is focused on the core technologies that people come to expect from us, the storage platforms, the data management platforms, the flash technologies that we discussed earlier on. And then we have the cloud division. And the cloud division are focused on the NetApp private storage initiatives. They're looking at cloud on tap as the way of us tapping into hyperscalers. And they were also responsible for the acquisition of the Riverbed, the steel store technology, which is giving us the ability to help companies be able to back up to the cloud securely and with encryption. So they're going to focus on all of the ways that we can help people really get advantage of and tap into the hybrid cloud model going forward.
I think the market in that space is changing. I think it's a very interesting, exciting time to be working in our world. So thank you very much for your insight today. I've been Bill McGloin. I've been joined today by Matt Watts from NetApp. Thank you for your time.